Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 223. It is Thursday here in Cincinnati, a little cloudy, kind of not sure if the sun's going to come through or not, but I don't think we're getting rain, so it's going to be a warm, hazy Cincinnati day, which is actually more typical for our summer than what we've been experiencing. So we will see what the weekend brings. I am not going to be doing a podcast tomorrow. So this will be the last one for the week. I am switching gears tomorrow and spending the whole day working on logistics for the first Gaia's Love Festival so that we can get that engine moving. A very, very exciting day planned of just sitting and creating and visualizing and then organizing. I'm very excited. Okay, so today I feel like we're bringing this theme of transparency, not to a completion certainly, but perhaps to an integration. And it will be one that I'm sure will continue unfolding for all of us as we continue allowing our light to shine through more and more. This morning when I was running, this phrase popped to mind that I had in an experience probably, 2 years ago, maybe. About 2 years ago in the summer, I was away to retreat with friends, and we were having this very philosophical conversation about religion and souls and the idea of, being here on this planet, and is it a choice to come or is it an assignment? I hear this from a lot of people, actually. They're like, I didn't want to come here, and now I'm here on Earth, and I don't know what to do, and I don't fit in, and it doesn't feel like I belong here. And I understand that feeling, and I also very firmly believe that we choose as souls where we want to have our experiences. And the physical experience of Earth is one of many, many, many options. And so I believe we always choose wherever our souls are guided to go next. It's an internal choice, and with that comes the ownership or the responsibility of that choice. So as we talk about this topic of transparency and being, in our light and allowing our light to shine and to become stronger and brighter and radiate out in more directions, this phrase came through, which feels so relevant. So when we were talking about religion and souls, one of the descriptions that my friend was using is, the chosen ones, that there's a belief that certain religions are, or certain faiths, the followers of that faith are chosen ones. And as I was talking to her, this statement just popped out, and what I said was, the chosen ones are the ones who choose themselves. And at the time, I sort of stopped and looked at her like, what did I just say? What did I just say? And then we philosophized some more about it, and then I pondered it many times in my meditations, and today it came forward again. And it ties in so powerfully with this idea of transparency and acceptance, inclusion, being unique, but also being accepted for being unique. What I believe, and what that statement validates for me, is that when we are souls choosing to have a human experience, we have full authorship, full decision-making powers over what specific kind of lifetime we choose and what lessons each of those characters or stories that we're going to step into will offer us. And so where some people perhaps will look at a certain group or a certain wealth status or fame status and say, well, they're the chosen ones. They're the select few. They're the lucky or the mighty or the powerful or the beautiful or whatever titles we project onto another person or a group of people. They're the chosen ones. What I believe, absolutely believe, is that those individuals chose their paths. They chose themselves. They chose the opportunity to come here and create exactly the life that they wanted to experience. And then when they were here in the human experience, they continually chose choices that would take them in the direction of what they wanted to experience. And so the chosen ones are continuously choosing themselves. They are in alignment with their own light, in alignment with the gifts that they came here to bring. And as they continually choose that and follow that and flow with that and expand that and become more of that, then more and more matching that truth of them being in who they are supposed to be. All right, this is getting confusing. as they are steadier in choosing themselves. All right, I'll make it my I statement. I think that's easier. As I continuously choose myself, as I choose those decisions, those options, those paths that are in more and more alignment with who I know I am and who I know I am here to be, and the options I chose to create for myself in this lifetime, the more I choose that, the stronger my light becomes, and the more I attract towards me others who want to support that expansion or be included in those activities or be part of that movement that is moving through me. And so my choice to follow my own light, to expand my own light, puts me in this sphere or energy field where I'm continuously expanding more and more of who I am. And so I'm choosing myself. And so from the outside, it might look like this sounds very presumptuous, and I don't mean it this way, but it may look like I'm the chosen one. That's very funny. Let me see how to say that in a different way. Others may have perceptions of me that I look happy or healthy or successful or in alignment or whatever their descriptions are, however you label the chosen ones. It may look that way from the outside as some sort of privilege. And what I know is it's because I continuously choose myself and my alignment. So, it's funny, I can feel myself sitting here like, did I really just say I'm a chosen one? I did. I did just say that. And I can feel my whole body going, am I really a chosen one? Yes, we all are. There's such an energy or a strength to that label of chosen ones. And we are all chosen ones. We all have the ability to choose ourselves and to follow and steady and expand who we are here to be. And what it may look like from the outside is a very privileged experience or luck. You know, people say, well, they're just lucky. No, they are creating their own life's experience, and it's because they choose to step into that. Here's another way to explain it that perhaps may make more sense to some people. When I first started learning and remembering about souls and the journey of the soul, there were some beautiful books that I was reading. One was Journey of Souls by Dr. Michael Newton, who is a hypnotherapist who has since transitioned. And he would take people back through hypnotherapy to the time between lives. He would hypnotize them and they would remember their earlier years. They'd remember their childhood, and then all of a sudden they were remembering a past life. And then eventually he found a process to take the person in hypnotherapy to the place between their lifetimes. So what did they do as a soul? And what were they learning as a soul? And what he found and the stories that he shared over and over is that the soul communicates with other souls, with guides, and chooses experiences that will bring them whatever next expansion they're going to have. And he started sharing how the more complex the life looked, the more drama or, that's not the right word, challenges is a better word, the more challenges that were presented to that soul in the human body, the more advanced the lessons would become. So this is an easy example, but for someone who comes to this human journey and has a pretty simple life, they're born, they have a happy childhood, they have a happy marriage, they are very healthy, they die of old age, they have happy family around them, there isn't a lot of drama going on, pretty smooth life. They will have some expansion, a lot of expansion, because this human journey is a complex one. They'll have a lot of expansion and they'll go back to being a soul, and it was great. The soul, on the other hand, who comes in and chooses addiction or chooses a contrasting experience with gender or sexuality or race or location on the planet that they're going to step into. So the energy field of war or of, whatever. There's so many examples coming into my mind as I'm trying to come up with, as I'm trying to narrow it down. There are so many coming in, I can't quite narrow it in for you. There are so many options of how we can have a complicated, challenging human journey. And the more complex it appears from the outside, the greater the growth, the more advancement that soul has as a consciousness, the more compassion is developed. There's another great book called Your Soul's Plan that I read right around the same time, and this gentleman, I want to say it's Stephen Schwartz, but that may be wrong, but he studied 9 different individuals, and he looked at the story of their lives and the complexity and the challenges that they faced. One was a paraplegic who had an accident diving into a pool. One was a woman who had received one of the bombs at the post office or government that exploded in her face, and she had this horrible experience of terrorism. There were 9 very specific human stories that he spoke to those individuals, and then talked to mediums and I think hypnotherapists. He talked to different people to analyze why would they choose that path. How would the soul expand through that human story? And what the message was over and over is the more complex the life, the more growth for the soul. So this statement of the chosen ones choose themselves at a soul level, to me that means if you choose to have massive expansion at a soul level, your life may look extremely messy from the outside. It may look like you just have made a lot of mistakes, or you have a lot of problems. As we practice choosing ourselves, loving ourselves, reconnecting to that inner light that I described yesterday, knowing I am light. Under all the messiness, all the junk that you see from the outside, I am light. And when I return to that, and I connect to that, and I expand that, and I allow more people to see it, I choose me, and I choose my light, and I share my light. That's where we start to look more and more like the chosen ones. It's because we're choosing ourselves. We're loving ourselves, we're expanding ourselves. And we're remembering we chose this journey. As crazy as it may look from the outside, we chose this experience. So it's a lot to ponder if you're at all curious about the stories that are shared through hypnotherapy and I guess, is it called regression therapy, hypnosis, whatever the mixing of those terms are. If you're curious about that, look up Dr. Michael Newton and see what his books are about. Mine is underlined and page turned, and Your Soul's Plan is just such an interesting concept to explore. So you'll know what your own truth is. But I invite you to take all that we have looked at this week, sit with it. We have a weekend, and hopefully in there somewhere you have a little quiet time. Ponder some of these ideas. And then discover, explore, expand. What is your light? What is your light, and why did you come here? There's some reason you came to bring that light, and my guess is to share it. So is there one next step you can start to take to share your light, your beautiful light? And let us see you. Let us remember you. Such interesting topics. And of course, if you have reflections or ponderings to share, bring them over to the Soulshine Tribe and share and create some conversation. And then I am diving into Gaia's Love Festival. I will be back on Monday. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in aligning with the optimal health of your mind, body, spirit in the virtual community of Viv's Energy Gym. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.